think it's necessarily something that we need to do, but I will ask Spoon, did you actually have any time to see this? I can give some like quick highlights of this.
I'm pretty sure I read it when the article first came out, but I don't really remember because it was like early in the week or even last week, and I don't remember. It's been the better part of the week since this came out, so I don't remember exactly.
Okay, let me do highlights then. Let's do highlights. So, basically, this first part is just saying, you know, some background on the person. They're like one of the people that's the executive producer on D&D. That's obviously like a major role within the company for specifically this IP, Dungeons and Dragons. The first kind of important paragraphs come here. Our language and requirements in the draft OGL. It's important to say that a lot of the reports that came out, and let me zoom in a bit, from this reported that it was not a draft. It would have been the official OGL 1.1, 1 or 2.0. That would have been the official rules, the terms, the official license from there on forward. It was not a draft.
But it was a leak.
But it was a leak.
Like, Wizards had not officially published it yet.
Right.
So
they can say it's a draft.
It was a leak.
Say it.
Yeah.
But the leak was pointing out that they didn't think it was a draft. They thought it was the new rules. So they continue to say, we're disruptive to creators and not in support of our core goals of protecting and cultivating an inclusive play environment and limiting the OGL to TTRPGs. Then we compounded things by being silent for too long, hurt the fans and creators when more frequent and clear communications could have prevented so much of this. Starting now, we're going to do this a better way, more open and transparent with our entire community of creators, with the time to iterate, give feedback, to improve. So
where have I heard this before?
Everywhere. Every company says this. This is like this is a very much like mad-libbed formula PR statement. It's like, well, who is this for? Our community. Okay, community. What are we gonna do? Blank, blank, and blank. Iterate, get feedback, and improve. There, we're done.
More transparency.
More.
Anytime a company does something and gets backlash, like, we're sorry, more transparency.
We're gonna be more transparent, which sounds good, but
they don't actually do it.
But yeah, you only do it a couple times, and then you're just like, okay, we did it a few times, like, we can stop now, because everybody's off our backs. Here's what to expect from them. On or before January 20th, we'll share new proposed OGL documentation for review and feedback, much as we do for playtest materials. After you review the OGL, you will be able to fill out a quick survey. Much like Unearthed Arcana playtest feedback surveys, it will ask you specific questions about the document and include open form fields to share any other feedback. Survey will remain open for 2 weeks. We'll give you advance notice before it closes so that people who want to participate can complete the survey. We'll compile, analyze, react to, and present what we heard from you. So yeah, I mean, like, again, it all sounds good. I just want to point out, generally speaking, that survey better be short. People don't like long surveys, no matter what. Don't. So I hope that's a short survey.
And honestly, I don't really like fill in the blank in surveys either. I just kind of want to tick the boxes and be done.
Yeah, checkbox, radio, whatever it's called. Having like short answer fields and such is really difficult to get somebody to fill out, honestly.
If there's like 1 or 2, I'm okay with it. But if the survey is littered with them, I'm just like, I'm not filling this out.
Yeah,
I don't want to do it.
Impatience sets in. Like,
it's too much work.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, nobody wants to sit down and do that for more than like 5 minutes, frankly, is what I'd expect. Finally, you deserve some stability and clarity. I'm gonna skip the rest of that. Any change to the OGL will have no impact on at least these creative efforts. Okay, your video content. So your video content will not be affected by the new OGL. Accessories for your owned content will not affect your ability to sell minis, novels, apparel, dice, and other items related to your creations, characters, and worlds. Non-published works, for instance, contracted services, commissioned work, paid D&D DM services, consulting, not affected. VTT content. So that's not affected. DM's Guild content, not affected. OGL 1.0A content. Nothing will impact any content published under 1.0A. Your revenue, there will be no royalty or financial reporting requirements. Your ownership of your content, you will continue to own your content with no license back requirements. Okay, so, I mean, again, it all sounds better. I don't really have much to say other than this sounds great. Can't wait for them to implement it like twice and then never, follow up on being more transparent and stuff again in the future. But like, it sounds like this is going to happen. Regardless of what people are going to say, this is going to happen. I don't know, unless the surveys are just drastically telling them, hey, don't change the license, and everybody says that, I don't see them changing that. Also, I just want to report one more thing before I get your opinion. I saw a tweet about this, and apparently D&D Beyond lost 40,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I was hearing stuff about that too, that basically the reason that they rolled this back was because there was a concerted effort by the community to like cancel D&D Beyond subscriptions over this, and they lost a bunch of money because they lost a bunch of subscribers because of the original leak.
It's somebody was like, yeah, this is the metric they track. Well, yeah, it makes them money. No shit, they track it. Can I just comment? You really think companies don't track everything? You really don't think so? They track everything. If it makes money, they're tracking it. They track it. There's somebody in that company, probably some kind of like product manager, who sits down every day and tracks every number possible because they want to know why something dipped, for example. So like when you lose 40,000 subscribers on your site, somebody comes in, walks into the person's office, like a product manager, and goes, we just lost 40,000 subscribers. And then that person like goes into like analytics mode. Like they track everything. Like you don't even have to point out any of this stuff. If you make some money, like site traffic, they track all this stuff. Like you don't even need to spell it out. If it makes the money, or if it's like if it's indicative of some way to track a success metric, they are tracking it. You don't need to say it out loud. I guarantee they're tracking way more things as success metrics than D&D Beyond subscriptions.
Yeah.
It makes them money, so of course they're going to track it even more seriously than anything else. So sorry. Okay, I just wanted to you don't have to point out if it makes the money. They're tracking the shit out of it.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're right. But as I said, like it was a concerted effort by the community to hurt them by canceling D&D Beyond subscriptions. So they know that's a way that they can say like they're gonna lose money from this.
Yeah, of course.
We can show them in a way that in so many other like gaming communities we wish people would do, like, hey, don't buy the game if it's bad. Basically, people were like, yeah, we're actually gonna hurt their financials by canceling D&D Beyond subscriptions.
They lost almost $3 million from this.
Yeah,
like you can do the quick math, and it's not 100% accurate that it's $3 million, but like that's $3 million yearly they just lost. Like, yeah, they're gonna be upset, and they're gonna be like, okay, we gotta. I don't even know how much. If you're looking at like the bottom level, it might be like $6, I think. Let's just look at everybody was the bottom level for numbers' sake. So if it's $6 multiplied by 40,000, that would be 240,000 by my count there. And then you multiply that over the course of 12, because it's each month.
6 a month. Okay.
6 a month. So then you're hitting like, again, it's not $3 million, but I'm just saying quick math. It's close. Like they lost about almost $3 million. And
I'm sure not everybody's at the lowest level.
No, they're not. So they're
tiers.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, hey, we just lost $3 million.
Yep.
Which, that's not a paltry sum. So they're gonna be like, well, shit, we just lost $3 million. Like we gotta roll this back. We gotta get some of that back. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that definitely hurts them. There are a lot of ways, a lot of things that hurt them beyond that too. But yeah, I mean, like, there was some other stuff I saw from reports, rumors. There's going to be like more tiers of the subscription I was looking at, and like the highest tier obviously gives you access to a lot of great stuff, but it's just like they want to like bump up the money making procedure beyond anything before, because like it's been said before, we talked about it, D&D is a really, I'm gonna say it, it's a really poorly monetized IP.
Yeah,
intentionally it was, they intentionally left it open, and as such, when you do that though, your monetization gets hindered because you leave it so open.
I think they didn't care in the past because it like wasn't that popular,
right.
So it didn't matter. But now that like it's actually gaining popularity, Wizards like, oh, we can actually make a killing on this if we monetize it.
Yeah, and that's the downside, is when you leave something, I'm gonna call it open source for now. When you leave something open source, inherently that means you're not gonna monetize it as well. So, in an effort to try and monetize this further, beyond other, they were talking about other things. They're like, oh yeah, these like, we want to root out all these NFT projects and so on for D&D, which I mean, okay, that's fine. I don't know, like Wizards just went about this so poorly. I feel like, I don't know if there was a strike one before, but this is strike one. This is like a massive strike one if you're looking at hardcore D&D as opposed to alternative rule sets like Pathfinder or some stuff like that. Like that's your strike one. So
yeah, I mean, it's good that they kind of backtracked on this, but
right.
As we said, I think the only reason they did is because they actually got hit financially by it, and they're like, oh, we can't get away with this. Basically, we're gonna lose money rather than make money if we do this.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how you got to see it. And obviously, like a lot of people who are, I'm gonna say, more into D&D than us. We play D&D quite a bit, but like, you know, there's people that do this as a job. Yeah, this is like a slap in the face. So I mean, like, I completely understand all the reaction that people have. So
yeah,
I don't have anything else for this. I mean, I guess just like strike one. We'll see if
we'll see.
Through.
Obviously, since they had to backtrack on this, we'll see what their next plan is to try and make more money off D&D. Because obviously this one
you can't do it this way.
This one backfired pretty hard.
Yeah, you can't do it this way. I just don't know if they can. They left things too open. I don't know. I mean, like, outside of, like, you know, Dungeons and Dragons video games, Dungeons and Dragons like modules,
like
books,
yeah,
the subscription. I don't know how you monetize further. There's probably a method to monetize further that I don't see. But like,
I feel like they should create their own like their own Roll20, like their own tabletop space.
I thought they were trying to. I thought they tried to.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's what they should do. Yeah, no, they should be doing that. But that, I don't know, maybe it's just like they don't want to commit resources to that. But it feels like that's what they should be doing.
Like they could do it and they could monetize the crap out of like the books in there and like assets and like et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
like,
with their own stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Though the problem is there's other probably cheaper options out there that people may not be willing to shell out so much for the official one. But
right.
We'll see.
Right. That makes sense.
If it's good enough, like if they did a good enough job and it was like way better than the other options, and like maybe
you'd potentially be willing to pay. I mean, like, we pay for Roll20 because Roll20 is like, you can only have 2 gigabytes of space.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 2 gigabytes? So one audio file, great.
Yeah.
So like 2 audio files or whatever. It's just like, you have to. Like, if you're a DM, you have to pay for Roll20. I don't know how you do it without it unless you just don't have music. Even the image files that you use, unless you're using their standard assets, you're gonna use up that space so fast. Yeah. So yeah, if they came up with something like Roll20, gave a better space requirement, gave like, okay, if you pay $6, we'll give you all this space, we'll give you better stuff, we'll give you our own music libraries, we'll give you like all of our books and stuff like that, I would do that. I have my own gripes with Roll20. We both do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would totally do that. I'd be in on that. Okay.
Yeah, like that's the way that I can see that they can monetize D&D.
Right.
Like
something like that.
And they could link it with D&D Beyond too. So if you
Mhm.
like have a D&D Beyond subscription, you can link it with this, and you get access to the stuff that's in D&D Beyond, and like et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And like you can create your characters in D&D Beyond and like do all. I haven't you really used D&D Beyond, but you can link them together so that
Yeah.
they talk to each other, and your characters from D&D Beyond can be straight imported into their app.
Yeah.
And, whatever. So,
Yeah, that'd be nice. That's all sounds good. So okay, let's move on here.
yes, this one.
You're devastated. Yeah. I understand. You've been a player for 2.5 years, but this day was coming.
I thought I'd never see the day that they finally killed it.
It's worth stating that they said that they were willing to support this game for years to come. To be fair, they did support it for some years to come. It was just like 2.
It took them longer to kill it than I thought they would.
It did take them a while. It definitely did take them a while. So, after 2.5 years, which is not, to me, that's not very long. Introducing 12 of Earth's mightiest heroes. Following update 2.8 on March 31st, we will no longer add new content or features to Marvel's Avengers. All official support for the game will end September 30th, 2023. So, even after official support ceases, both single-player and multiplayer gameplay will continue to be available. See below for more information. We'll get to that. Update 2.7, which added Winter Soldier Hero and Cloning Lab Omega level threat. Last new content to be added to the game. No news cosmetics. All final balance updates will occur on the 2.8 patch. Along with end of development, turning off cosmetics. When update 2.8 launches, credits will no longer be purchasable, and all remaining credit balances will be converted into in-game resources to aid ongoing adventures. Can I just make a comment right here? Can I just have my money back for the credits purchase?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you may not.
I guess it was less a comment, more of a question, but okay. So there's like all these conversions, and I gotta be honest, like if I'm a player, I pretty much just read this as, oh, you're not getting a refund, by the way. You paid $10 for credits.
What's with these ranges? Why can't they do like a more precise conversions? Like you have 1 to 999, you get just this. Like I guess if you have 1, then you're happy because that's probably worth a lot more than 1. But if you have 999, you're probably pissed off because
it's the same.
Like
I don't. Okay, I don't know. Laziness, I guess. As a show of appreciation for our community, we will make all the game's marketplace, challenge card, and shipment cosmetic content available to all players for free. I'm guessing that was paid before, based on the wording of that. If I was somebody that paid for that, I'd feel duped, because that means that starting March 31st for the rest of the whatever support is left of this game. So if I paid for something, and this is where I'm like, I want a refund. You're just gonna make it free now, so I just wasted that $10. I just wasted $10 to get something that's gonna inevitably be free now. I'd like my $10 back. I'd be like, hey, like, why did I have to pay for this? You just made it free. I would like that. I won't get it, but I'd like that.
I mean, to be honest, I don't quite buy that argument. That's like saying any game that comes out starts at $60, but if it goes like if they eventually reduce the base price to $40, that like I should get $20 back because they reduced the base price. Like I don't know, I just don't buy the argument.
Okay, I still feel like I'd be duped.
Yeah, a little bit, but I see what you're saying, but yeah, I don't quite agree.
Yeah.
Personally, like
it would be nice if they did. Google Stadia did. Google Stadia refunded everybody.
Yeah, they did. That That was a surprise. That was a big surprise.
Yeah,
me,
I didn't
'cause
expect them to do that.
Usually, it's a too bad, so sad situation. Like, well, we're shutting this down. If you have anything in our service, you lose it all. Too bad.
Yeah, I
Like,
think that's what they assume. They're like, okay, look, like they're gonna lose all this stuff. Like they're never gonna have access to it again. They're gonna feel like it's just gone. Like, come on. I still think like having like paid for a cosmetic and then being told a week later, oh, we're just gonna make it all free now. It feels a little bit funky
it does
to me, as opposed to like game starts at $60, 2 years later goes to 20. I wouldn't ask for a refund for that because I don't know. I think it's a slightly different situation for me. Let's see what else. Okay, let's go down to the questions answered because they're just going to be like, thanks everybody for supporting. Thank you all 400 people that are remaining. I'm not even going to read some of this one. When will support end? They already said it. That I don't know why this is even
who
in there.
made the decision to end support? Big Daddy Square Enix. Next question.
Square Enix did. Next. Square said stop. Will I still be able to play with my friends? Yes, multiplayer will still be accessible after support discontinues. Multiplayer will continue to require Xbox Live Gold on Xbox platforms and PS Plus. Will single and multiplayer play be available forever? The changes we are making to how the game functions will ensure as long a life as possible. However, after September 30th, we can't guarantee that we will be able to address issues that occur due to unforeseen circumstances. So this is a situation where they're saying, so if there's a major bug that causes multiplayer to be down, we're not fixing it.
Yeah. Like, we'll keep the servers up, but that's about it. Like, we'll let you play, but if it breaks on its own or somebody hacks the game and it's broken, yeah, too bad.
Yeah,
Like,
so like,
yeah.
that's where I'm like, okay, well, what happens between now and September 30th? Game will continue to run as is until March 31st. 2.8 will launch with the game's final balance changes and all marketplace, challenge card, blah, 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 will be available to players for free. Will I still be able to buy the game? Yes, the game will remain available for purchase digitally between 31st of March and September 30th, and at retail. No digital purchase of the game will be made after September 30th.
Wow.
That, to me, right there is an interesting one.
The other question about that is, like, if I buy the game and I uninstall it, does that mean I won't be able to install it anymore after September 30th?
I think yes, actually.
I think yes as well. That's my inkling, at least.
Like if you look at Disney Fantasia, for example,
yeah,
Disney took that down from the marketplaces.
Yeah,
if you uninstall that game,
it.
It's gone. You can't uninstall that game anymore. So, I hate when people do that. I hate it. Just make the game free to download. I hate when people do that because it justifies all the concerns people have with digital games.
Yeah, it does.
I hate. That's why I hate it. I'm like, okay, well, what the fuck?
Like, yeah, they can just decide, like, yeah, we're taking this down. You can't have it you can't have it anymore.
Yeah.
If you ever uninstall it, it's gone forever.
It's gone.
Like, you can't find, like, they've delisted it from the servers or they've taken it down from the servers, so you can't download it.
Yeah, I don't like when game companies do that stuff. I don't like that at all. Just make it free. Just see, like, it's free. Download it. Whatever. If I buy a pre-owned copy of the game on disc after the 30th, do I get all the free cosmetic? Yes, everyone who owns the game will get access to the same suite of free cosmetics. Oh, here we go. If I delete my digital version, can I reinstall it? They just answered the question. Yes. If you own the game before the 30th, you will be able to reinstall it after that date. However, as noted above, after September 30th, we can't guarantee that you will be able to we will be able to address issues that occurred due to unforeseen circumstances. So if the game can no longer be installed due to a bug,
yeah, too bad.
Too bad.
Yeah.
Will events like the Red Room Takeover still run? Yes. Will there be any additional bug fixes? Before the 30th, yes. After, no. If something happens to my save game, gets corrupted, who do I contact? It just says we're no longer providing support, so no one.
Eat shit, bro.
Is anything happening in the cosmetic vendor? What about outfits that are earned in game through missions and challenge cards? All cosmetics will be granted to free. You can still earn stuff. Are refunds available for credit purchases? Does not alter any standard refund policies. Well, I don't think Square can afford to refund anything on this game too. I think Square's like, no refunds. We can't.
They already lost enough money on this.
We already lost a shitload of money. We're not doing that. Oh, hey, look. Hold on. We got a bot. Let's go. Let me just bop this bot. Let's go. Get bopped. I miss Big Falls. Now it's Doge hype. I miss Big Falls. Big Falls is better. I don't like Doge hype. Doge hype is too stupid.
Big Falls was better.
Will Marvel's Avengers continue to be available on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus Extra? Marvel's Avengers is available on both, and all changes discussed will apply to the Game Pass and PlayStation Plus Extra versions as well. For any updates, stay tuned to Xbox and PlayStation social channels. Well, Spoon, time to jump in. I'm installing this game tomorrow, and I'll be playing it. I can't wait to share my feedback on the game with you. It's at its twilight. Time to jump in.
Please don't.
What? Now's the time. It's on Game Pass. Now's the time.
It's been on Game Pass a while, and you haven't done it.
But now the situation is dire. I need to jump in now.
It's been dire for like 2 years.
It's time. It's time for me to jump on in. Okay, jokes aside. Apparently, the team that is working on this is going to go to Tomb Raider, so it's not like they're all just being let go.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I think when we first talked about this, I was like, man, I'd be surprised if this game lasted like another year or so.
Yeah, we're like it'll be dead within a year.
It'll be dead within a year, and I think it lasted a little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm not surprised though.
Again, I don't know much about game development or how many people, but if they had more than like 10 people still working on this game, I would be surprised.
I think they had probably a really small crew.
Yeah.
Working on it. I'm not surprised. I will say I give some kudos for them just sticking with this for 2.5 years. It would have been all too easy to give up, so I guess I'll give some kudos on that. But like, my opinion was, I think they probably should have just like stopped,
cut their losses.
Cut their losses. It's really unfortunate because this is a live service game. When you cut your losses like on a live service game like this, well, the single player seemingly was lackluster.
Yeah.
So, like, there is multiplayer, I guess, but if it gets bugged, you're fucked. I don't know. I guess there's something left to this game. I did check the Steam charts before this as well. The player base is like 400.
Yeah.
It's like a 400 player base right now for this game on Steam. I can't imagine it's much more for that on other platforms. Maybe it's more on console. I really don't know. So let's assume that for each platform there's like 400 people. So there's like a little bit over 1,000 people. There's like 1,200 people probably playing this video game. I don't know. I feel like
yeah.
I mean,
it's been dead for a while, and now they're officially putting it down. They're officially putting it down now. Like,
so at least they're keeping the servers up.
It was better than Babylon's Fall.
Wow, what a terrible video game. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. Marvel's Avengers. I mean, it flopped. It shouldn't have been a live service. It should have just been Guardians of the Galaxy kind of game. I think if they had just made it like Guardians of the Galaxy, like at least that type of game.
But with Avengers, yeah.
With Avengers, I think that would have worked really well. I think it would have worked really well. But
no, Square decided they wanted to try and make Madden bucks off this and make it a live service game. So
Square, you're not that good at that.
No,
you have one game off the top of my head that has existed as a live service, and that's FF14. Well, that's an MMO, and has had recent success. But I think, like, yeah, my only response to this is, if they had made this like Guardians of the Galaxy, a single player adventure with like similar aspects of action like Guardians, if they had made the story relatively good, I think at least like the reception of the game would have been, this is really fun. I liked what I played. It was a nice 15 to 20 hour adventure. It was good. And then that would have been it. And it wouldn't have made Monopoly bucks, but it would have been well received. And then they could have been like, oh, maybe we'll have some DLC afterwards.
Yeah, they can add DLC. You can add more missions to the game. You can add more playable characters to the game. Like, you know.
Yeah.
You could have done a lot with it, and they overstretched. And they're like, no, we need to make it a live service multiplayer game with cosmetics and like gear, like the gear score system basically, and like loot and stuff like that. And it just no.
And if you're gonna have a developer do a live service, I don't think Crystal Dynamics was the answer.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it was the answer. Crystal Dynamics would have done a good job with something like Guardians. Yeah. I think that's what would have worked. And Guardians to me worked. It just wasn't marketed well. But
and Platinum isn't the answer either.
Platinum is not an answer for a live service. No. But like I don't know, like I don't know what Square's like thought processes are. Like, okay, well, let's pick this developer. It's like, they haven't really done this before. You sure? Yeah, whatever. I'm sure there were other developers they could have gone to that might have had some more experience, but I don't know. I'm not Square, so I don't even know if I feel bad for the players of this game. Like, you had to have known that this game was going to lose support soon.
Yeah, I don't know. Square does well with, as we've talked about before, with their single player RPGs, their Final Fantasies, Octopath, Kingdom Hearts, like those games, but like everything else they do is kind of like for the most part.
They're not particularly good at other things beyond their
they're the only company left. Like, they just every time we hear about them, they're still like doubling down on like blockchain and NFTs, and every other company is like, yeah, we're not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Even Ubisoft was like,
Ubisoft like went in on it at first, and then eventually they're like, okay, this is a bad idea. They pulled out eventually. Square is still like, no, we're doing it. It's like, all right.
I don't know. Square, this is the thing, is Square is really good in their comfort zone, but if they have to go outside of it, they're a terrible fucking company.
I don't know. I just imagine they're bored, like the people at the top making all the big picture decisions is just a bunch of like 80-year-old Japanese men who are just so out of touch that it's not even funny. Like,
and it really, like,
that's what I imagine. Yeah. Like,
I think Square, just stick to your comfort zone. We'll see how where the Marvel IP goes from here. There are other games though for Marvel that work, like Spider-Man worked. I know Guardians was not a financial success, but that game worked.
People seem to like the game. Not quite as much as you did, but generally people liked the game.
Yeah. People are a little bit too up their ass about open world now. At times, I'm like, it's a linear adventure.
It depends who you talk to, but yeah, sometimes you get the people that like, it's linear, it's crap. It's linear, so it's like automatically like at best it's an 8 because it's linear. It's like, well, okay.
I mean, like, would it really, like? And part of me also, that's a side topic. I don't want to talk about too much, but it's just like, it doesn't make sense all the time to have like Mass Effect, for example, is more of an open world experience. The first Mass Effect, like, you can go anywhere you want, but like the mission is so dire. It's like, we have to stop Saren. It's not that realistic to just be like, we're just gonna fuck around for a month and then deal with Saren later.
Yeah.
So like to me, having the linear adventure can make sense, where it's like, okay, situation's dire, like, we have to do these things quickly. But anyway, there's one last thing I wanted to add onto this. Apparently, when this first broke on Twitter, the site went down.
So they got way too much, like, they got DDoSed, basically. They got too much traffic, I
They got
guess.
too
I
much
don't know.
traffic, and it's just like an outstanding conclusion to this saga. And it's just an announcement about the future. Bad gateway. I have to admit that put a real smile on my face.
Oh, Avengers.
That was
you were
so
something.
funny. I'm just deleting one thing. Okay, anyway, I don't have anything else to say. I just loved that last part. That was so funny.